So hello everyone, in this video I'm going to tell you about some input types you can add actually. So in the earlier videos we have talked about the different input types just like the submit, type reset, type number, password. There were many. So similarly I want to discuss about different types here. So there is one input type date as well, which you can specify for getting the date or something from the user. So it will actually present a calendar to the user that he or she can select and enter any date he wants. So any year and then the month and then the date. So it will select the date there. So this is actually used for inputting date or for getting the user's date in the format. Similarly, we have this min and max attribute to it, which we can specify for the date. Like if you want to restrict the user that he cannot enter less than that, or he cannot enter the date below this. So for example, if I want the user not to enter a date before 2001, so he will not be able to enter that because I have specified this min attribute, and this min attribute will work. So let's see that. So if I go to less than 2001, okay, let me just change the format because I've added this format to something else. So you have to write this format in just like this format, YY, MM, and then there is DD. So this is the format you have to use whenever you are specifying a minimum or a maximum value to a input type date. Always remember that. So this is like the year should come first and then the month should come and then there is a date. Then it should work, I think. Let's go to less than 2001. Now you can see that it is not going down because we cannot write the date below that because we have specified the minimum value. But if I also want the maximum range of the date, like you can see, I can go ahead to any year or to any date. But if you want to restrict that, so you can also use the max attribute. This min and the max attribute can also be used in the number field for specifying the minimum value of a number field like the 5. So user will not be able to write the minimum number uh, or less than the 5 number. I can specify the date, let's say 2021, and then there is the 1 month, or let's say first day. So if I do that, so I'll not be able to go ahead. You can see that I cannot go down, and after 2021 I cannot select any date. Also I cannot go upwards before the 2001 because I've specified the minimum and the maximum value, right? Similarly, we have the different types. The other type I want to discuss about is input type month. So that actually allows us to write month in the year. So we can write that. So here I can write anything, let's say month. So I can specify that. So input type month will actually create one input field where I can select the year and a month, not the date. So basically in the input type date, we could select the date and the month and the year. But in this, we can only select the month and the year. This is actually the case. And then there is input type, let's say one more field. And you know the other ones which are number, input type number, there is input type password, there is input type file as well. So I can write file. What this will do is it will create a file selection option. So I can click on this button which is choose file, and I can select files from my directory or anywhere from anywhere, let's say. So I can select one file, demo cb1. And if I want to create a field or an input field which can allow me to select multiple files, if I click control and then if I can select multiple files, so that isn't possible yet. But if I add one attribute, which is the multiple attribute here, then that will allow us to select multiple fields. If I refresh the page, so I can select multiple files. By clicking on control, I can select multiple files and then those files will be selected. So this is the power of multiple attribute. Similarly, I can also add this attribute to a selection or a select option dropdown. Then that select option dropdown will also allow me to select multiple options by clicking control. There are many attributes. We'll discuss about attributes in the later videos. Let me just discuss about these fields first, or in these input types first. Then there is input type. There are many types. Tel is also there, input type tel, which allows us to write telephone numbers. Then there is input type text. I told you about that. Then there is input type time, so which will allow us to write time here. So I can select time here. It is in the 24 hours of format, so I can select that. And then there is many other input types as well. If you go to the w3schools.com and if you search for form input types and if you click on enter, and then the first link you can go to that and you'll see many input types are there. If you go to the website, you can see there are different types of input types and you can select any of that, because I'll not be discussing all, but I can give you the glimpse that there exists one source where you can get the idea that what kind of input types I can add here. So I can write input type email, which will allow me to write only the emails which contains @ symbol. So if I don't write @ in the email, then that form will not be able to submit it. So let me just add one thing here. So if I add here email, let's say, then if I write something else here and if I click on submit, so you can see it is telling me that you haven't added any @ symbol, so you cannot submit this form. So this kind of restriction is added because we have added input type email here. Similarly, the other attributes are there. You can select that part as well. So you can select any of the type you want. So there is input type color, which gives us the color palette. Checkbox I've already told you. File hidden. There are many types. You can also see the preview of that particular input type if you want. But I just wanted to discuss that there are different types you can use in a normal input field as well. So this is it for this video. I hope you got something about input types and how you can add different input types here. And if you got confused or if you have some issues, so definitely there are docs and you can also comment down. So I'll be definitely solving that. So thank you for watching. Let's meet in the another video.